afternoon, everybody. My name is Ron McDonald. I'm President and CEO of Zinc Energy Solutions. Let's see if I got a solution here to turn this. It's the green button, right? Okay. First of all, I want to give you a little background on our company. We've been around for probably 12 years, 10 to 12 years in our present iteration. We started off when I took over the company, we had about 13 employees, 2 years ago. We now have 56, and we're aggressively pursuing our first production facility in the state of New York. So it was good timing when we got this notice, because I was coming down to the state to look at sites for our first full production facility, which would create about 400 to 600 green jobs in New York State. New York State made us a company. When I first took over this company, we weren't well known. Zinc Air Technologies had troubles all through its development with the production of dendrites. And the dendrites would stick to the plates, it reduced the efficiency, all that stuff. I've got a really smart team. So the smart team took over and said, what we need to do is to make those dendrites work for us. And they developed a completely different system. Let's see if I can move this one. Which button, guys? Green, red? Green. That green? Not moving. Green. There. So we developed a completely different system that looked, instead of fighting the dendrites, we said, we'll make those things our friends. Over a number of years, they created a system. This is it here, which is a component system. You can see there's 3 different parts of it. So the first part is zinc regenerator, and we generate zinc particles and we charge, and we don't really care. We're agnostic about the source of the power, although the system really encourages incorporating a resilient renewable power resource. So once we do that, and then we store it in our storage tank, and then when you need the power, we put it over to the power stack. Now, what's unique about us? We have decoupled energy and power. So most of the systems that you would be aware of, like say a lithium ion, they haven't decoupled the energy and power. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So if you got 20 kilowatts of power, you can only store 20 kilowatts of energy. If you want to double the amount of energy you store, you have to double the amount of power stacks that you have, even though you probably don't need the power. We can independently scale here. So if you want more, more zinc generated, we have the zinc regenerator, we upscale it. If you want to store more power, we just add a bigger tank. And if you need to have more power on the output, we put more power stacks in. So it makes us very customizable at very little additional cost. We're low cost, abundant materials. This is a big thing right now. And I used to say this in the last couple of years of running the company. Right now, the world is stressed with supply chain issues. And all we have to do is look on the TV today, and you can see what's happening over in Russia. Russia controls about 32% of all the nickel that's produced that goes into some of the technologies for storage. Or you look at China, which has been very aggressive over in the supply chain side. We don't have anything in this battery that cannot be sourced within the United States. So you've heard from the governments that they're talking about supply chain issues, particularly over on the renewable sector and the storage sector. We don't have that issue. We're one of the few battery technologies. Everything that's in our battery can be sourced in the United States. And our system is, as I said, modular and scalable. A couple of technology advantages. The first one is that we're durable. Anybody that's got a phone here today or a laptop, you know that the first charge that you put on that is the best charge you're ever going to get. It starts ghosting after that. So your full charge in 2 years down the road gives you half the time that you can use the device. We have 0 ghosting in our system. So in our system, the first charge and the last charge, 20 years later, is at the same strength. Low cost. The longer the duration requirements, the lower the cost gets. And you'll see that in my next slide. And that, again, is one of the unique advantages of the technology that we've got. And sustainable growth. All of our supply chains for mass manufacturing can be sourced within the United States, or indeed most countries in the world. I just want to look at this one for a second, because it deals with some of the supply chain issues that are really affecting the world today. So when you look at our competition, if you look at vanadium flow batteries, it's an exceptional technology. But once they get to a certain point, the excessive cost of the electrolyte, which can be 70% of the battery, flatlines them. So you can see that probably at 8 hours, they're at about $450 per kilowatt hour of storage, but they only go down slightly as the amount of storage required by, say, a building goes up. And it's the same with lithium ion. Lithium ion, if you look at lithium itself, lithium prices have gone up about, I think, Mark, from 10,000 to about 700% in the last 12 months. That's a lot of increase. If you go over to something like zinc, zinc has gone up 44% over the last 12 months. So the commodity that we use to do the storage has been very, very stable, and it gives us a big cost advantage. We used to say that we can beat anybody at cost at 8 hours of storage because we're long duration storage. That has now slipped. We can beat anybody at 5 hours because of the increasing commodity prices for some of our competitors. But this price line will show you why we've had the interest from people like NYSERDA and NYPA and Con Ed. And it's because the greater the amount of storage that's required in an application, the cost per kilowatt hour goes down substantially. So at this point in time, we can't find any competitor in the long duration storage hours, say 8 to 100 hours, and now 5 to 100 hours, that can deliver this cost curve to the consumer. Now, this one here is a bit hard to read, and I wasn't sure I was going to use it, but these are solutions for New York buildings. Go look at it over here. So a couple of them deal with peak management, demand reduction. That's peak shaving. So trying to take the power where the cost is the highest and to shift the load to the lowest cost power. So our energy storage system can take the lower cost power at night, and we can use that to supplement the higher cost power through the day. Where there are demand charges, and different jurisdictions have different demand charges, we can design a system specific to the application so that you never get that demand charge again. Interestingly enough, in a place like New York City, power can be, you're all consumers, over 30 cents a kilowatt during the day, and at nighttime, it can go down to about 5 cents. So we can take large amounts of that 5-cent power at night, store it, and for you to be able to use it and significantly reduce your costs through the daytime. Bill management, backup power. Backup power is extremely important, and we've all seen that after Superstorm Sandy and the cost to the economy just here in New York when power is lost for days at a time. We can provide multi-day storage. We can build that system for you. Energy arbitrage, frequency regulation, voltage support, and curtailment avoidance. So one of the things that our system provides is a customized operation for any building in New York. Local Law 97 was pretty important to us because it set out a series of requirements for buildings in New York to decarbonize. But we've had great success in New York State. We've also had it in New York City. So I'm just going to highlight on a couple of projects that we're doing. One that we announced a little while back was with Fresh Meadows in Queens. It's in the engineering design stage. It's a 100 kilowatt, 1.5 megawatt hour, 15-hour duration project. And our collaborators are Digital Energy Group that's built out over 130 cogens stations in New England, mostly in New York, CHP plants, and with support from NYSERDA. NYSERDA has supported this with over $600,000 for this demonstration, and we want to thank them for it and for taking us under the wing and helping us understand the opportunities in New York. Last 2 years ago, we were the winners of New York City's Department of Buildings Innovation Challenge, and everybody knows the Department of Buildings regulates over 1 million buildings in New York, and with the requirement that any building over 25,000 square foot has got to reduce its carbon footprint, means that there's 60,000 buildings that are in that category. And with our company, we were developing a 50 kilowatt system, which is ideally suited for that particular market. And we will be coming on stream with that product in 2023. So we get a lot of government support over in New York. We're also looking at the University of Buffalo. This is with NYPA. A couple of years ago, we entered a challenge with NYPA to do non-lithium 6-hour and above storage. We gave them a 10-hour solution. There was 102 competitors, and after 9 months, we were the last man standing on this, or woman standing on this one, from a corporate perspective. And then we partnered with them, with the University of Buffalo, and we are providing a solution for them to provide backup power for their entire northern campus. And that's important to us as well because they're the leaders with New York University, with SUNY, and they're the leaders in over 62 campuses in sustainability. We also won another contest here, and it was Scale for Climate Tech, which took us under the wing in New York and helped us to de-risk our manufacturing process, which we're just about to start in the state. We've also been really lucky. We were over with New York State, the Urban Institute. We were the first non-US company that was taken in there. We were the first company that was already listed on a market, and they have been instrumental in us being able to move our product forward. So I guess I just want to finalize this by saying that we're one of those we are a New York success story from Vancouver and from Toronto. And the technology was originally developed in the West Coast of Canada, but New York State and New York City has given us the opportunity to commercialize and to draw the attention. So in conclusion, I would say that Zinc 8 Energy Solutions is your new New York partner for compliance with Local Law 97 and to increase the energy economics of buildings in New York. We've also produced a service, an opportunity for buildings to have storage as a service. So instead of all of the purchase and build and owning it for the building owner, we've got a unique product that we'll be announcing in more detail in the coming months, where we would be providing storage as a service, where our company would build, own, and operate, provide the cost savings on the load shifting that would be required, and any carbon credits that would be gained, we would share with the building owners. So that is an exciting business venture for us. So thank you for New York for allowing us to come down, New York City, and present to this group. Thank you.